Okay, hi everyone. My name is Edna and I welcome you to our school. Thank you for accepting our offer to participate in this talk. We are very interested to hear what is life in Czech Republic like, but I will let my fellow classmates ask questions about that a bit later. First, let's talk about mental health in general. My question is, how do your students prioritize their mental health in these stressful times, aka exam times? Like, do you have any group works in your school, or can they see psychologists if they need to? Tell me whatever.
Hello everyone. This is a difficult question. We do not have a psychologist at school like you do. You've got two psychologists even, right? We found it very beneficial. It must be very beneficial for the students. So we do not have that. I think I don't know how much they prioritize their mental health. We tried to, or we were happy when they could come back to school after the pandemic.
Yes.
And then even like out of the regular schedule, certain courses were planned because the school believes that the courses are good for not only learning something, but also for the well-being of the students when they go away together for a week and spend some time usually in nature or doing some outdoor activities. So these courses were planned because they missed them during the pandemic, and so they were organized, as I said, out of the schedule. So I think that was one of the ways to take care of their mental health. But at school, we just watch, and if we see that someone's not well, then we try to talk to the student and we show interest and care. And
we also work with parents.
Yes.
And if they want, everybody can come and ask for help.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you noticed any specific mental health issues that your students might have, for example, depression or anxiety? And if so, what would you recommend to an ordinary teacher to do if he or she notices that a student might be struggling with their mental health?
Is this meant generally, or is this meant in regards of the pandemic?
Generally.
Generally. I think when the teacher gets the impression that a student might have mental problems, we first tend to speak to the parents, and then usually that's when the parents take over and look for medical help.
Okay, do you have anything to add?
No, I don't.
Okay, one of the reasons you're here is because you wanted to talk more about sport, is it right?
It is, yes.
Okay, could you tell us what kind of sport activities do you have in your school?
There is no gym at our school, as I have already said in one of the classes, which is unusual. Most schools have a gym, and there's an outdoors playground like you have. Our school doesn't have that because we are in a building with a primary school. We are just in a separate section, but it used to be one primary school, and then our school, when it was founded 30 years ago, took one of the buildings. So it's strange for students to realize that there's no gym, but we've actually turned it into an advantage, and our PE classes always take place at different facilities all over the city. So the students always have PE the first 2 lessons in the morning. So it's not in between classes because they would not have time to walk to the facility and come back. So our students have their PE classes in a commercial gym center, this is called, or in a swimming pool, or they go skating, that's very popular, or they what's the last one? They go to a gym, like a big hall.
Yes.
With
the basketball hall
yes.
and volleyball hall.
So they get to play whole sports like volleyball or basketball, but they also learn swimming or they go skating. They are students who have never been taught how to skate in our country, and our students learn this at school. So we think it's an advantage.
Yeah, I think it's even more interesting than what we have here sometimes. I
Yes.
mean, who would like to go to the gym or skating?
Yeah.
How would you explain the correlation between sport and mental health?
I think that it is very important relationships, because when someone lives healthy and when someone do sport, in the end they are healthy and they are happy.
Okay, and you?
Oh yeah, I totally agree. I think sport makes people happy.
But would you say that sport and working out is always the best answer? Like if a person is sad, go work out, or...
I think it can't do any harm. It can either do nothing or it can make things better. But I can't think of a situation when sports would make the situation worse, until you break your leg or something. But that's not connected to mental health.
Okay,
Yeah.
but what is your opinion on the famous saying that working out or sport in general is like a therapy? Do we still need to see a therapist if we notice that something about us is just not right?
I think if we still feel that something's not right with us, then I think we should see a therapist.
Okay. That was enough from me. I'm sure my fellow classmates are eager to ask you some questions, so let's hear them. Who would like to start?
Okay, let's hear some questions. Don't be shy. Okay, go.
Do you have any Ukrainian refugees in your school?
Yes, we have 5 students from Ukraine.
Yes.
They joined our school like a month ago.
Months ago,
Month ago.
in the end of the March.
And of course they're struggling with the language.
Yes, it's horrible for them.
The teachers are struggling too.
Yes.
I don't teach them, so I don't have any experience with them. I haven't talked to them, but I know that teachers try to find activities the students can do, but of course the language barrier is a problem.
And Czech language teacher gives them every week extra lessons from Czech.
But I know about primary school in our town. They have accepted 65 Ukrainian children, so that is a significant number in my opinion.
Yes.
So yeah, and in our city there's a Ukrainian refugee center. Our students actually have been working there as volunteers to help with the registration process. It takes a lot of administration to get everyone registered. So then once they are registered as refugees, then they get help from our government. But they need to go through the registration, and it takes time. So our students have been helping them, or they have been helping in the center. So they also sometimes share the stories they've heard from them. So I think their view has changed a little. Yeah,
It's definitely an experience, yes.
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 So while we're at the subject of Ukraine, do you think that the sudden war in the area of Ukraine has affected your students and yourself as teachers?
I think it has affected us massively. When the war struck, I can't think of the past tense of strike now, when the war began on the 24th of February, our town or our area was on a spring break, so we were not at school. Personally, I was skiing in the Alps, and I remember still the feeling I had, and immediately on Monday when we were back at school, it was the topic number one, and we have been discussing the war ever since. And it is a huge topic for the students as well as for the teachers, or for me personally.
For everybody.
For everybody, yes. Is it a big topic for you too here?
Oh, it is.
Yes.
Yeah, I know that, for example, our primary schools also have taken a few refugees from Ukraine and try to help them as much as they can. But in my opinion, there is a lot of confusion going on because of the war. So I just wanted to hear your opinion about it. Do you listen to the opinions of the students? Do you talk about the war with them, or did you just pronounce it as something that happened?
I talked to them. We discussed this. I'm a geography teacher and an English teacher, so in both subjects it is a topic to talk about. In geography, from the, of course, geographical point of view, in English we talk about anything, about all the topics, so this is also one of them. And yes, the students are full of feelings and they express their opinions. Of course, some students more than other students, but it is a huge topic. And in regard of this, I did a lesson on what's it called? The false news, or
Fake news.
fake news. Yes. I printed out 4 articles talking about the beginning of the war, and they were from 4 different newspapers, media, and they were supposed to compare the articles, and they realized how the fake news, how they work, and how propaganda in Russia works, that the Russian channels, like, for example, Russia Today is a big Russian state media, yes, how they reported about the war. And then there was an article from the Washington Post about the same event and how differently the media reported about this. So it was, I must say, it was big for them to realize this,
Yes.
and how careful they need to be, or we all need to be.
And I want to say that our children organized collection,
Yeah, like
Yeah,
a check.
fundraiser.
yes, of money for Ukraine, and it was their activity, and we are very proud of them.
Yeah, their initiative.
Would you recommend avoiding the news or listening to them, like, so we know what's happening?
What I think they should do?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think they should definitely listen to the news. I think, and I try to make them realize that a person should know what's going on, therefore they should read the newspapers. And very often I begin my geography lesson with a question, what happened yesterday? What happened 2 days ago? And very often they don't know. And I was like, don't you watch the news? Don't you read the news? You should. So then, of course, there's someone who does that, and we discuss the world affairs and the domestic affairs as well. So I think they should be interested, but they also should be careful about where they get the information from.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Yes.
Would you say that this crisis actually brought the students together? Because, yeah, would you say that they are more of better friends now, or brought together by the fundraiser you pointed out, etc.?
Well, I think it has helped them to bond more, definitely. The whole country, I think, has united a lot more. The first few weeks of the war, it was amazing what the people did. Like, there were collections of stuff for the Ukrainian people. I think we all have gathered stuff at home, or I went to Lidl and bought did the shopping, and then I gave it somewhere, you know, with, they said what the people, the refugees, what they need. So I think all of us, or many people have done it. So I think it has put the whole country together.
Yeah, thanks.
You know, our history is a bit complicated with Russia. The Russians or the Soviet armies invaded our country, it's Czechoslovakia, in 1968. Luckily, the war didn't start, but it didn't start because the leaders of our country didn't give the order to defend. So the Russian or Soviet soldiers stayed in our country for 30 years till 1990. And there were 30,000 Soviet soldiers in our country watching us. And if there were movements to stop communism or to rebel, the soldiers would act accordingly. So we know what it's like when the Russians invade the country. So I think that's why the support of Ukraine was so strong in our country. But I feel like it's been strong all over the world, not only in our country, but everywhere.
Thank you.
Do we have any
other questions? Girls, you can.
What values you promote in your schools?
Sorry? Yes, I didn't understand the second word. What
values do you promote in your schools?
Values?
Yes.
I think fairness and politeness and friendship and
Solidarity at the moment.
yes, solidarity at the moment, yes. Yeah, can you think of more?
I don't know. It's a difficult question.
It is a difficult question. I need more time to think about it.
Yes.
Anything else, Natalia? Okay, you can. What do you think about it?
How many subjects do your students have?
How many subjects?
Yes, yes. It depends on the school year, on the left, on the year. Yes. So I think that about 13 subjects per year. 13 subjects. 13 per year.
13. Okay.
So
15, 16 is the average for them
yes.
here, so it's very similar. And they're all obligatory throughout the year.
Yes, they are.
And there's, out of these 13 are some electives that they can choose, or?
Yes, they can choose.
The older they get, the more subjects they get to choose. So, for example, in their final year, they have to learn only Czech, math, English, and a second foreign language.
And history.
And history, and PE, and that's all. And then they've got subjects which they have elected. Seminars, usually there are double lessons, and they are those subjects that they will graduate from.
What would you say are some of the favorite activities of the students outside of school?
Favorite activity?
Can I say it? No, I think that pub.
The older they get, the more they go to a pub. But
Yes.
they do sports a lot,
Yes, of
music. We have schools like art schools. They are funded by the government. They are state schools, and the students go there for lessons of to play a musical instrument, or drama, or painting. So they go to these art schools, and then there are a lot of sport clubs all around the city. So a lot of students do sports. And then a lot of students like playing computer games. That's a very popular activity. I, as an English teacher, I always say it's good. Keep playing as long as it's in English, and as long as you communicate in English. And I can tell if a student has been playing computer games because their English is better. So I think it's good. Sometimes they tend to fall asleep during the lesson, and we all know that it's because they played a computer game for too long, but yeah. And what else do they do? Yeah, I think the same as you do. Is there any other activity I haven't mentioned and you do it and it's a favorite activity here?
No, not really, but you mentioned sport, and I mean Croatia specifically through the last couple of years became famous for football. So what would you say are some of the more favorite sports in Czech?
So football is number one, that's for sure. Number two is ice hockey. And then there's floorball, volleyball, basketball, handball. In our town there's a good team of handball, athletics. Well, yeah, all the usual sports. Table tennis.
What about skiing, since you have the Atlas?
A lot of people ski in our country, but people who live in our city cannot really do skiing as like professionally, because we are in the middle. We are located in the middle of the country, and the mountains are around the border. So usually it's more the kids who live in the mountains that ski professionally. But a lot of people ski, and they go skiing during the spring break.
I think that the modern sport is biathlon.
Or biathlon, yes.
No.
We have a
Cross-country skiing
and cross-country skiing is very popular.
And as an English teacher, what would you say that is the general state of English speaking in your country? And do you think that projects like these help students better their English and other languages?
You mean projects like Erasmus projects? Yeah. Well, Erasmus projects are fantastic for language learning. The students who have participated in our Erasmus projects, if they had not been good at English before, after that they improved because they tried during their experience what it's like to speak English outside of the classroom, and it was a massive experience for them. So it definitely helps. I think that your English, the English I've observed here, is generally slightly better than English of our students. Even in the first year, we went, I don't know, when was it?
Was it in geography?
No, yeah, I taught them geography, but in English, and it was the first year, and they were fluent, they were very good. So your English is fantastic, or English I've noticed here. We have students whose English is very good as well, but we also have some weak students. Generally, knowledge of English of people in our country should be higher. It's surprising that still there are not that many people who speak excellent English. And I don't know why that is.
And you mentioned the second language, that it is mandatory in your schools, it is in ours too. But besides Czech and English, what other language would you say that your students speak?
They speak usually by German, Russian, but I don't think that they will choose it, and French.
Yeah, great.
There are schools that offer, as a new language, they offer Spanish, and a lot of our students would love to learn Spanish at school, but there aren't just Spanish teachers or teachers of Spanish, unfortunately. What are the second languages you learn here?
Well, I think that German is the most popular. I personally learned French too, but we have several schools across Croatia in which you can learn other languages as well. we have language.
Yes,
Yeah.
Italian.
Italian.
We also
Portuguese
have
as well.
Italian,
Yes, you have,
Italian, German, and just one class per year of French.
And Portuguese, do we?
Sorry?
Portuguese.
Yes, and a few students who learn Portuguese.
So there's a Portuguese teacher at the school.
Not at the school, it's, I think it's the Institute of Portuguese Language, and the teacher comes to the school once a week,
Okay.
working with a group of students.
Mhm.
So it's a new project, it's been for 2 or 3 years.
So it's like after school.
Yes, after
lesson.
school activity, once a week, and the Portuguese teacher is not our staff member. We don't have.
Okay.
We don't have a Spanish teacher, and we don't. So that's why we cannot offer Spanish and Portuguese, unfortunately. But Chinese is picking up in Zagreb. There are a few schools offering Chinese so Chinese, and because of the Turkish TV shows on our TV in the last few years, yes, the interest for Turkish language has gone up, and there are more students going to our language university here in Zagreb to take up studying Turkish language.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, so Turkish is on the rise, Chinese and standard European languages.
But there also is one bigger private school for Czech even. I know a few of my friends went there when I went to primary school, so yeah, I mean, I can already guess the answer, but do you have any connections to Croatia back in the Czech Republic? Or?
Croatia is the #1 summer destination for our people, like #1, and then for a long time there's nothing, and then there's Italy. It's not #2, I think, but Croatia is #1. So a lot of people, and people come here regularly, repeatedly.
For generations.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
When they were kids, and now when they come with their own families now.
Yes.
But you are very welcomed here at any time.
Okay.
Thank you.
In Croatia soon is going to be summer vacation, and I wanted to ask when is the beginning of your summer vacation?
When does the school end? This is one. When does the school end? We end on the 15th of June. This year is well, a bit longer, 20th June, but we usually end mid-June, and then we begin at the beginning of September. And this your school year and begin.
So your holiday is 2.5 months long.
Yes, too long.
Yes.
Too long. You see, they're not happy with those 2.5 months.
We usually start at September.
Yeah, at the beginning of September.
And at the beginning of the September, and we usually end in the end of June.
Yes.
So at least 2 weeks.
It's
longer.
always 2 months.
2 months took holidays.
Sometimes it's 9 weeks,
Holidays too.
8 or 9 weeks, but it's always July and August.
So I know your country is very famous for its beers. So does that affect students, and do your students have any problems with addictions?
With addictions.
Beer addictions. Alcohol addiction.
Our students drink beer. There's a strange thing in our country that very often beer is the cheapest drink you can buy in a pub. Coca-Cola is sometimes more expensive than beer. I don't know if a law has been introduced, or they were talking about introducing a law that there must be, the cheapest drink must be non-alcoholic in a pub, so a glass of water perhaps.
But only one.
Only one, yes. So our students, of course the older students, they tend to drink beer. But our students are, in the 3rd year they are 18, in the 4th year they are 19, so they are adults, they are allowed. So they drink beer. And addictions, generally I would say our school doesn't have problems with drugs. However, it's a new thing, and we were told to look out for something new, and that's the tobacco that students tend to put in their mouth, and they suck it. They don't smoke it, but you know, like I don't know. It's like a nicotine. It's called a nicotine bag. Have you heard of this here?
Yes.
Nicotine bag, and they put it in their mouth and suck the nicotine out of it, and it makes them happy, or I don't know. So that's something new.
Not during the school. No, not during the school schedules.
Well, I don't know, because you can't tell if we have not had any case yet, but it doesn't mean that they do not use it.
What is the best beer in your country?
That's a difficult question.
I don't like beer, for example.
I love beer, and I think best beer is Pilsner Urquell. But have you heard of Pilsner Urquell? Have you heard of Pilsner Urquell?
Yes.
But I've seen around the city more of Krušovice, that you can buy Krušovice here.
Here, yes.
Or Staropramen.
Yes.
Staropramen is from Prague. I don't like Staropramen. Don't know why. Well, because of the taste. Or Budweiser. But I think Pilsner is the best.
And it's still out of class here.
Yes, but it's Belgium.
Yeah, from Belgium.
I think it's Belgium, from Belgium.
Yeah, Staropramen is advertised on our national TV,
Okay.
right? Yeah. Staropramen commercials, and I think that's the only Czech beer that is advertised.
Okay.
Okay?
I wanted to add to his vacation question. So, what is the most valued break in school in your country? Because, for example, when I was in Netherlands, the spring and winter vacation as well is more valued than the summer vacation, because in Netherlands the swimming is not as popular as it is here. So I don't know if you can get what I wanted to ask.
The most popular vacation for
Yes.
students in your country.
Because
you would say summer break, right?
Yes,
Summer break.
for us it's summer break. In Netherlands they prefer more skiing than swimming.
Right. Well, of course, the summer break is most popular because it is the longest. Because every time we meet after a holiday, any holiday, one day holiday, I ask, how was your holiday? And the students say short. Every time they say short. But I think Christmas is popular because in autumn we've got, so we start at the beginning of September, and then all the way till December there's only one break, and that's at the end of October, and the students are off for 3 days. We've got one public holiday, so there are 2 more days around it. So it seems like it's a long time without any holiday till Christmas. So I think Christmas is popular. And then we've got a week, that's a spring break during February and March, and each town or each region has this week at a different time, so not all the country is off for a week because people tend to go to the mountains to go skiing, so they would not all fit there. So that's a popular one too. And then it's long again. But since the spring break, then there's Easter. We've got Thursday, Friday off and Easter Monday off, so it's 5 days. And then there's nothing again. Well, there's public holiday on the 1st of May, but this year you've got public holiday. Yes, it was Sunday, and then we've got public holiday on the 8th of May, so it's Sunday again. So, so it's going to be long till the end of the year.
Yeah, we have the National Independence Day or something like this on the 30th of May, and this year it's a Monday, and we're all happy.
Okay.
Because we get a 3-day
Yes.
holiday at the end of May, and then 20 more days to finish this school year.
But next year, the 1st of May is on Monday. I already checked. So we'll have 2 longer weekends.
Okay, great. Okay, we have more questions?
What's the most popular elective subject?
Elective subject.
Yes, usually it is geography and social science. Yes, please.
So the final exam, the A-level exam, the SAT exam, in our country, the obligatory ones are Croatian, Maths, and English. And the 4 most popular elective subjects that students take as their final exams, which they need to enter university, are psychology, biology, and the politics and economics class, which is a 1-year class in 1 year. It's a subject in the final 4th year. A lot of students take it because they want to go to the economics university, or because it's a humanities kind of subject, which doesn't have a lot of material to cover. So even if you don't, so these are the 4 subjects that kind of are popular as final exams.
The social science.
And physics also. And
Physics.
Biology.
Oh.
Yes, because if you want to go to the STEM university, you need physics, you need biology, and it's more popular than chemistry. So these 4, psychology, physics, the politics and the economics class, and what's the 4th one? What did I forget? Physics, chemistry, yes.
But we've got the subject social science or social studies, and it includes psychology, sociology, economics, law. So it's the same as you only.
It's different subjects. So they do sociology in the 3rd grade, right? They do psychology in the 2nd and in the 3rd. Okay, depending. Maths class has only in the 2nd grade. No, only in the 3rd grade. Only in the 3rd grade. So we have a bit more. That's why they have 15 or 16, because psychology and sociology are different subjects. Politics, different subjects.
Right.
So that's great. Okay.
And what would be your students' most preferred subjects? The subjects like ours are physics, etc.
Physics is the most popular subject?
Well, for us, one of the most popular because, well, my class personally is a mathematical.
Okay.
Math classes involve physics and
Yes. Okay, then I understand you.
When you know math, you know physics too, yes, of course. Because I'm teacher of math and physics. So the most popular, I think that it is the English language. They like
You
it.
say what is popular for you. I think geography always goes well. Students love they prefer geography to history, most of them, don't you? We can never say, well, perhaps they can explain why. Okay, what else is popular with you? PE class always?
Yeah, PE, so yeah.
Yeah.
What else? Maths is in the top 5, yes or no? No. Okay.
Top 5
Or some.
on the other side.
The other side. Okay, from the bottom up.
Yes.
Top. Okay.
Yes.
What would you like to change about your education system?
Ooh.
Where do we begin?
Yes.
Same goes with us.
I would lower the allowed maximum number of students in classes. Teaching 32 students is hard, so I would start there.
But I must say that English teachers don't teach 32 students because lessons or classes are split up on
Small groups.
2 small groups.
Yes.
So maximum is 15, 16 students.
Well, the allowed maximum is 24, but if there are 32
Then we
students in
don't-
class, we divide them, and then
But we don't do it.
not because we have bigger
Yes.
classes. Yes. So I was surprised when I saw an English class here of
24, 25, yes, we do not divide it here.
yeah.
And 10 years ago, the maximum number of students in this school was 36. When I began working, it was 36 students. This is the maximum you can accommodate in our classrooms. When I told a few of my students this, and I said, well, look around, there are 24 or 25 of you. 10 years ago, 36 people breathed in that, because the classroom isn't any bigger now. Yeah, 36. Now it's 24, 25.
Okay.
Our German and Italian classes, they get divided, so they have a lower number of students. But there are some German and there are a few Italian classes which are again 24.
Okay.
And the whole class is Italian or the whole class is German. And they are lucky enough if they are half German, half Italian, then they speak.
Okay.
That's with the languages. But the same problem here.
Yes.
Okay.
Are students interested in foreign languages? My question is mainly referring to English, because when you came to my class, I grasped that they have a lot of opportunities to learn English.
Yes. Yes. Sorry.
Are they interested in English?
Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
Yes, okay.
It is their popular subject. They know why usually they know why they have to learn it, and yes, they are interested. No one says, "Oh, I won't need English in my future." No one says that.
Okay, yes.
How does a normal day in your school look like? Where does the school start? Where does it end?
School days start usually at about 8 o'clock in the morning, and every class has a maximum 2 lessons, 2 days, where lessons are in the afternoon. So they end at 12 3 times, and
2, not 12.
3 times at
2.
at 2. Sorry,
Yes.
at 2, and twice at 4.
2 days at 4 o'clock.
Yes.
2 days are longer
Yes.
than 2. But they, when they finish at 4, they still start at 8, or they start later in the day.
They start at 8.
They start at 8,
And usually they have 6 lessons, then they have 1 lesson break, they go for lunch, and then they have 2 more lessons.
So for mental health, is it better to play individual sport or team sport?
depending on the individual.
Yes,
I was
it
going to say,
depends.
depends on the person. If someone is extrovert and sociable, then it's better to play a team sport. And if the person is shy and quiet, I think individual sport is better.
Yes.
So in Croatia, we have a slight problem that a lot of young people are moving countries trying to get a workplace abroad, for example, in Germany, in Ireland, etc. So do you have a similar problem in your country, or did you regulate it somehow?
I think we don't have this problem. This movement it occurred, let's say, 20 years ago when we joined the EU. A lot of people, even before that, but then after joining the EU it was easier. So a lot of people moved out, or they went to work abroad, and a lot of them stayed. But also a lot of people came back, a lot of people returned. Now I think Erasmus makes a lot of people spend some time abroad. So at universities, a lot of people have a chance, and a lot of people go to study at university for a semester or for a year, but then they come back. Then there are programs, work and travel. I don't know if you have that here. Yes, for program.
USA,
Yes.
for Europe.
So it's been, I don't know how popular it is now. I don't know about anyone who has done it recently, but when I was at university, all of us went to work to the United States for the summer, and then we traveled a little. So it was very popular, but I don't, there are some people that of course moved out and work and live in the UK or in the United States or in Germany. But I feel like here it's much stronger than it is in our country.
And would you feel that from the time that you were a student to the present moment that your school system has improved, or did it stay the same, or became worse?
I don't think it's worse. Our school system isn't worse. I think it's better. How long has it been since RVP and ŠVP were introduced?
15 years
15
ago.
years. 15 years ago, the Ministry of Education came up with a set of minimum content and competencies that need to be taught, and the schools could come up with their own individual school plan. So it has given the schools a lot more freedom of what to teach, how to teach it. So I think that was big, and I think that helped.
So, for example, our school, there are lessons, I think the same as are here. But sometimes teachers on the other schools teach, for example, whole morning history, whole day. Yes, they teach in blocks.
Yes.
Yes, it is possible to choose it. Yes, but it depends on the school.
Thank you.
Yes?
Is high school education enough to get a decent job, or do your students have to go to college in order to get a decent job? For example, we have to go to college because we don't have many opportunities.
Yes, it's the same.
This type of school,
Yes.
not qualifications.
Yes, yes, it's the same.
So it's preparation for university.
I think the only thing that our students have advantage comparing to students from vocational schools is their knowledge of foreign languages. Otherwise, students from vocational schools are more qualified for like even very good jobs. But our students go to our school with the idea of continuing studying at universities.
So by choosing your school, they already know that.
Yes.
It's a logical step after
Yeah.
graduating from high school. Okay, Ivan, you had a question?
Yeah, so let's say, for example, you catch a student cheating during a test. How often does that happen, and what is your according punishment?
Sometimes it happens. I hate it, and I do everything I can to avoid this. If it happens, I take the test away from them, and of course the grades isn't good. And then they also may get like a official or formal punishment. it's written in their record, in their file. The parents must come to school, and there's a meeting, and there's a report from the meeting. So this is what happens. But I think cheating is not. There is some cheating, yes. They cheat, but I would like to believe that they don't they don't cheat much in my lessons.
How much do you cheat in your everyday life? Huh? So are there any subjects where you cheat more than others? Or you feel like you have to cheat? It's the only way to. Huh? Or is it, we don't want to talk about this now.
Do you, when you get a geography test, do you get two versions? So the two people sitting next to each other, they don't answer. All right, okay.
Yeah. There are 2 groups, 3 groups, 4 groups even, so that you, and the person behind you can even get
Okay.
So it depends on some subjects.
It's more work than just cheating. It's more teamwork sometimes. If someone is sitting next to you, then you solve their test and yours. Then just having something written on the paper.
Okay.
Or you write the answer on your sheet of paper and you exchange with paper.
So is it a big issue here? For, and what happens if a teacher catches you cheating?
They usually just say like don't cheat, or they take away. Sometimes they take the whole test and just read as that.
Okay.
But parents don't come to school, and we hope that our teacher for this. It's not a good idea for parents.
Well, luckily I'm not your teacher, so. Okay. So I think that they, well, to speak for teachers on the subject, I think it depends on the personality of a teacher. Students know very well whether the teacher will allow them to cheat or not.
Yes.
And they know that if they try and could get punished, they are less likely to try. But they know that, you know, if it's worth the trouble, I think this is what students. Okay, well, you can ask them, what about English lessons? Do you have the need to cheat?
No.
No, why not? Well, explain why not.
How would you cheat on a listening test?
How would you cheat on a listening test? Okay, okay, or a reading test? Okay, because well, how do I deal with cheating? I always say, if you can have a bad day and get a bad grade, you will get a chance to correct the grade.
Yeah.
So I kind of try to put the pressure off on being always like on going after the grade. This is what I kind of. And if we do have a test, I used to have grammar tests. So we would always have practice tests, so they would know what kind of tasks they would have. So I kind of tell them what to expect. They already know what the material would be. So I expect them to prepare. This is one thing, and then the other. If you get a bad grade, well, don't worry, you get a second chance. So, but I don't know if it works. Well, they can say whether they want to cheat or not. Okay. More questions?
When you asked if we have 2 groups on a test, I wanted to say that in my elementary school, there was one, I can say, crazy chemistry teacher, and if in the class there were 25 students, then there were 25 groups on the test.
Wow.
So
individual tests.
It was not possible to cheat in any way and to collaborate with anyone. So it was made for each of the students.
Okay, so you had to study basically then. You had to prepare for a test.
We like atmosphere in our school.
Yes,
we do.
Yes. I do a lot. Yes. It is similar to our school, but I like the atmosphere in our school too. I love the building. I think it's amazing, the cute windows. I think you're very lucky to be able to learn in such a beautiful building. And your teachers are so nice and smiley and very friendly. So
They don't seem to be stressed out or so. Okay. Okay, yes. So we will pick one more question and we will have to finish up because we also have to go to a class. So one more question or two very quickly and we will finish this up.
What is your school most famous about?
What is your school most famous for? Okay, just speak up under the why are you so shy?
our school is most famous for teaching languages. We have our students have a lot of language lessons, and we teach subjects in English. So that's what makes us different from the other gymnasium in our town. And then what also our school is famous for is its atmosphere. People are generally very happy at our school, very proud of their school. They talk highly about our school. And not all students in our town speak highly of their own high school. So they know that our school is very friendly and kind of family atmosphere that is so, I think that's what we are famous for. But our school is small. There are only 10 classes, so it is more cozy than large institutions, of course.
Okay, one more and then we will have to finish up.
What would you say we should visit first when we come to Czech Republic?
You should visit or
Visit in the Czech Republic.
Well, definitely Prague. I think Prague is stunning. But then there are also a lot of beautiful
National parks,
nature places. If you come to our town with a hiking tour with Mr. Peric, we will show you some beautiful areas for hiking. So it is Prague for sure, would be number one, but then also nature, the mountains, or we've got sandstone formations, caves, yeah.
Well, thank you all for your questions. Thank you very much for your answers.
Thank you. You did very well.